Welcome to this week's edition of The Link this evening, and we have a special guest. Some of you are being hard pressed, are finding challenges with the passport question, feeding in and all this, and we have the spokesperson of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Mr. Jacob Simunyu, and is here to explain some of these things and make them easy for us if you're looking for a passport, renewing and stuff like this, or getting a new one. Jacob, welcome.
Thank you.
We have a few minutes, so we'll go straight. Take me through quickly the steps to apply for the e-passport. I used to fill forms, now it is e.
To apply for the e-passport, now we apply online. We had earlier started and we were using the old system where you would go to LC123, DISO, RDC. But when we registered Ugandans, we no longer go through those steps. So Ugandans now only go to www.passports.go.ug. You enter a few of your particulars, that's your names, your telephone number, and your email, and the system will open. They will ask you a few security questions, which are common. They normally ask, the very first question is, they ask you your city or village, or that place where you stay, or the one where you live, and then you are the one to provide the answer. So that can be used later if you get out of the system and you want to get back. So when you answer the security question, when you get the security question, you get into the system and fill, and it is so easy. There are just a few things that you type. The rest you choose. These are the ones that you type. Your name, your telephone number, the date of birth you choose, maybe your place of residence, which also you choose. So maybe the other which you type is the names of the parents and both parents and the clan. The rest you choose. Where you reside, where you live, where your parents reside, where they live.
You click and there's a drop down and you just
drop down. We use a system like that of the Electoral Commission, where all villages are there. You can't tell us that your village is not there. Okay. So once you are done with the filling, they will give you you choose the mode of payment. You can choose over the counter, you can choose mobile money, you can choose all types of visas or MasterCard. And then you print out, they will give you a PRN from URA. Our services, you first pay before we can process. Okay. So if you have not paid, we cannot process the application. So you go to the bank with the PRN, give it to them, they enter the digits, and the payment will be accepted. Then you go and schedule an appointment. To schedule an appointment, you go back to www.passports.go.ug and look for the menu for schedule appointment. You schedule your appointment and you wait for the day and time. The scheduling is in such a way that they give you a day, like today, and give you an hour within which you should be there, like 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. Okay. And when you come, you will find people waiting for you. They will serve you. There is a queue management system there. First come, first served. You take about 7 minutes with our officer taking your biometrics and you go home. After going home, you wait for a message. But the passport takes 4 working days if it's normal, or 1 to 2 days if it's express. Okay.
I have an old passport which is valid.
Yes.
Why do you make me feel all these things once again when you have already my information?
Why is harder, but if your passport is valid at this time, it cannot be valid for beyond 4th April 2022. We had a deadline for using the old passport because we have a new passport. It is harder for us to continue using both forever. So we have to convince our stakeholders by issuing a statement that we are using only up to a certain time. So they had given us 2 years, but because of COVID, the years expired on 31st January.
Yeah, last month.
Last month. But they gave us another extension up to 4th April 2022. So all Ugandans who want to use a passport can continue to use the old passport until then. Meanwhile, we encourage Ugandans to come and replace their passports so that you don't get an emergency when you have when your passport is expired and when maybe you cannot quickly renew it.
So in other words, the deadline, if I still have my passport, I can continue using it until April, just for clarity.
Yes, you can continue using it up to April, but for international travel, they might require, again, to reduce it for 6 months. In other words, for real international travel, you can use it up to 6 months before. 5 months,
like October.
5 months and 30 and how many? 5 months and 29 days.
Which is October this year.
No, not like that. Is it October?
Yes, 6 months to April.
Well, yes, for international travel, because they imagine that you can get there and maybe your trip is extended by 3 months, so you need a passport.
There's a problem now. We saw the other day on TV, again, NTV here, that the lines, the queues for these passports are long. And it seems that when somebody's feeding and applying, it seems there's a clog on the appointment dates. Up to now, it may go until May. What's happening? You can give some advice. What's happening?
What is happening is that following COVID-19, many people, first of all, they got some pinch in the pocket and want to get jobs. And opportunities opened up in different areas outside Uganda. And Ugandans want to take advantages of the opportunities that exist outside Uganda. We cannot blame anyone for that. But it means that there are many Ugandans coming to get passports. And yet our capacity was still low, given that we are supposed to deal with COVID-19 SOPs, the issues of social distance, where we had 300 chairs, we are forced to have 150 because we must jump a chair and cross it, and even cross it's the thing that you lean on, so that Ugandans can be secure when they are with us against COVID-19.
Yeah.
The other thing is that because of the reducing we were supposed to operate at 30%. So 30% means that under normal circumstances, we should be issuing 1,000 plus passports. So we're issuing 30%. But because of opportunities, Ugandans, remember, they apply electronically and apply. They apply and make appointment. And we encourage people to continue applying during COVID because you would apply, pay, and wait to make appointments. So when we started operating, they all made appointments. And the others who are going out for labor export, they also increased. And it means that there are many appointments waiting in the system. Now, given that we were at 300, we are forced to go beyond that to 500, but we may be forced to now go full-blown to 1,000, which we used to issue.
We're running out of time, and I know that now the clog. Now, I have an emergency, and there's the clog. I have an emergency. First of all, tell me what's an emergency in your case, and what should I do?
Well, if someone, the challenge we have now is that the labor export companies compel the young ladies to pay for express. And you find a labor company bringing so many people at a time, like 200, others 100, one of 150, and they bring them so early. They bring them at 4 a.m. when our offices open at 8. We are trying to engage them so that we can find a common position and ask them to bring reasonable numbers which we can handle without causing a stampede outside. I'm
being told my time is running outside. I want to know,
yes.
Jacob, what do I do?
So
if
under
I
those
can't queue like
circumstances,
this,
it is true that there is a queue, but the queue is electronic. We are enforcing now appointments for everybody. But if you find you are stuck somewhere and you have evidence, you have an emergency, health emergency, academic, there are people who have trips and they are documented, you can come and see the commissioner, and commissioner will judge at that level and say this one has an emergency and find a way of clearing you. So Ugandans should remain patient, but also be sure that those who have emergencies can be handled. But the emergencies that can wait, like the one of labor export, please make sure you make appointments and bring your people on appointment. We do not allow people at internal affairs who do not have appointments. And please also desist from bringing people at internal affairs at 4 a.m. It is dangerous, it's a violation of human rights and a violation of the law, and I mean curfew.
Thank you, Jacob. I wanted to ask another question, but producer there told me time up. Jacob said very important things there. If you miss this and you want to go back to it again, it is going to be uploaded on YouTube tomorrow. You can go back and see Jacob's answers to our questions, to your questions concerning the passport issues. Thank you, Jacob, very much for coming to update us. And if you have a passport which was valid, not yet you have until April 4th, 2022. That was The Link. Thank you for joining us tonight.